Good morning. Thank you all for coming. I'm State Representative Mike Marron from the 104th District, which includes parts of Vermillion and Champaign counties. With me this morning, I have my senator, Senator Paul Faraci from the 52nd Senate District, and some locals representing the three largest communities in the 104th District. I have Tim Dudley, the Executive Director of Vermillion Advantage, John Brown, President of the Village of Savoy, and Scott Eisenhower, the Village Administrator for the Village of Rantoul. We're here this morning to talk about three appropriations bills that I filed, House Bill 2199, 2200, and 2201, that would fund three major infrastructure needs in my district. These projects are of major importance to economic development and the future growth of my three largest communities that I represent. I've always been a strong supporter of infrastructure, and I've been willing to cross the aisle and take tough votes to support infrastructure funding. With that record and the start of the budgeting process with Governor Pritzker's address last week, I believe it's a very opportune time to discuss these critically important projects. So up first, House Bill 2199 would fund the Curtis Road Interchange Project, a major east-west thoroughfare through the Village of Savoy. It would create an underpass crossing of the Canadian Railroad at Curtis Road. The Canadian Northern Railroad runs north and south, parallel to US Route 45 through the village, at the interchange of US Route 45 and Curtis Road. During times of high rail traffic on the Canadian Northern Line, the village is split in two, with police and fire stations and healthcare facilities on the west side of the track, while a significant portion of the population lies on the east side of the track. The rail line could be a potential major impediment to first responders during an emergency and would add valuable time to any call for help on the east side of the track. The village has always had a visionary approach to the future, and the barrier created by the railroad creates a barrier between the business center of the community and some of the village's best resources. On the east side of the rail line lies access to the University of Illinois research facilities, renewable energy projects in the form of a solar farm, and access to affordable student housing. The Curtis Road project is on the top of the priority list for Champaign County economic development and is critical to the future growth of the Village of Savoy and that critical part of Champaign County. I will let President Brown briefly talk about the project.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity. A strong national economy relies on dependable transportation infrastructure, and the village believes the same is true at the local level. The Curtis Road, a complete street and grade separation project, is a culmination of decades worth of partnerships designed to construct a 1 mile long, 5-lane, multimodal project with a grade separation. As Assistant Leader Marron mentioned, the project provides immediate and uninterrupted public safety access to the eastern half of the village, which is currently bisected by the Canadian National Railroad. Canadian National Railroad has also provided letters of support and funding for this project, which I believe is important. Additionally, the Curtis Road project will provide safe access to sidewalks, roadways for pedestrians, bicyclists, and for people with disability. Especially, it will also provide access to the recently constructed First Street multi-use path and further connect the village residents and students to the university's research park and to the main campus of the University of Illinois. Construction of this project will also help maintain railroad delivery and transportation efficiencies, which may come with future freight and high-speed rail improvements. High-speed rail and higher speed rail will dramatically improve the economic stability of Champaign County. Furthermore, the project will serve as reliable southern access point to Willa Airport and to the University of Illinois, including the historic South Farms. Finally, the Curtis Road project will provide a corridor access for research, development, medical facilities, economic growth on the Curtis Road corridor between I-57 and Route 45. This project is the key to Savoy's future growth and its prosperity, and I thank Representative Marron for filing House Bill 2199 to help achieve this long-awaited goal of the village.
Thank you, President Brown. When we as politicians talk about infrastructure, we always get hung up on roads and bridges, and why not? Those are the big sexy projects that we all get to go and point to and say, I did that, right? And so, but one thing that we always fail to think about, at least I do, I'm guilty of it, is water, wastewater. Because, you know, as long as you go to the faucet and turn it on and you get water, you know, you don't put a lot of thought into where that comes from. But that is a critically important part of our infrastructure. House Bill 2200 would fund water, wastewater infrastructure expansion on the west side of the city of Danville. And this is critically important. And it's just as traditionally underfunded as transportation projects. But this is just as vital to economic development. It's vital to protection of the environment and to health and well-being of our citizens. The city of Danville has faced some pretty strong economic adversity over the last several decades and has a very large underserved population. But the people of Danville have always stood strong and continued to face adversity and build a strong community. Due to many existing projects and the hard work of leadership of the locals, things are looking better for Danville than they have in many recent years. And this is an optimal time to talk about expansion. Expansion to ensure that citizens in Danville have access to vital infrastructure and the jobs that infrastructure will bring. I will now turn it over to the president of Vermillion Advantage, Tim Dudley, to talk about water, wastewater infrastructure in the city of Danville and Vermillion County.
Thank you very much, Representative Marron, and thank you for all you do for Vermillion County. It's very much appreciated. I appreciate the time today to come and speak a little bit about this infrastructure project in Danville, Vermillion County. We're located in East Central Illinois, and you can call it unfortunate or not, we're right next to the Indiana border. And that's why it makes it almost more important for us to be able to get this infrastructure money. We're also an underserved community, as Representative Marron has indicated, and you know, we've experienced population loss over the years just like everyone else. We lost about 4,000 residents in the last census. But lately, as the representative mentioned, we've got some great projects that are online. Carl Foundation just spent $90 million on a new hospital complex there. We've also got a casino opening up, but just a few weeks ago, FedEx opened a warehouse there because they know that logistically Danville is important to getting goods and services out of Illinois like they should be. So that's why it's vitally important. We're running out of project space out in that area in Lynch Road. So it's vitally important to take this water and wastewater infrastructure out to the west, what we call the Westgate Project. We have land out there that's available. And I know that this administration and everybody here wants these shovel-ready projects. And the only way we get these shovel-ready projects is to get this infrastructure money, to get these wastewater and water lines ran out there, get our electrical and power out to these areas and have them shovel-ready. We're competing with a state like Indiana right next door, and we're competing with other areas in Illinois for growth. We need these shovel-ready projects ready to go in our area. And I just can't stress enough how much this HB 2200 would improve the lives of the citizens of Danville and Vermillion County, to be able to bring companies there, to bring people back to our community, to put people back to work, and up our population, and grow our housing, and grow everything about Danville and Vermillion County. So again, I want to thank Representative Mike Marron for introducing HB 2200 to help the citizens of Danville and Vermillion County with our infrastructure needs. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tim. One of the most exciting resources that we have in the 104th District is an entity called Lincoln's Challenge Academy in the village of Rantoul. And House Bill 2201 would fund demolition of several dilapidated and dangerous structures on the former Chanute Air Force Base that currently resides on the campus of Lincoln's Challenge Academy. Lincoln's Challenge Academy is an Illinois National Guard supported school in Rantoul that was established in 1993 to provide at-risk youth a path towards success. Through a 22-week residential quasi-military environment, students learn life skills, pursue educational opportunities, and prepare for achievement in their communities. The program is highly successful, fielding an impressive rate of graduates finding gainful employment, proceeding on to higher education, or pursuing a career in the armed forces. I will now ask Scott Eisenhower with the Village of Rantoul to talk about the Lincoln's Challenge Academy project.
Thank you very much, Assistant Leader Marron, and we greatly appreciate your willingness to address what has been an oversight in completing a state project. When Lincoln's Challenge Academy first located in Rantoul, they moved into the buildings that had been left from the Air Force after they decommissioned Chanute Air Force Base. While the school is an amazing opportunity to change the lives of young adults, their effectiveness began to slow as the structures they were using became outdated, particularly in the areas of technological and environmental advancements. In 2011, Governor Pat Quinn announced the construction of 5 new buildings for the campus, which would house classrooms, computer labs, multi-purpose rooms, a library, a multi-use athletic facility, a dining hall, and co-ed dormitory space. The plan also included the demolition of the 5 existing structures, which were now outdated and no longer of use. The project broke ground in 2014 with plans to complete in 2016, but that construction came to a halt due to the budget impasse of 2015. The project remained stalled for nearly 3 years until money was finally released to complete construction, and the ribbon on the 5 new buildings was cut in June of 2018. Unfortunately, while money was appropriated to finish construction of the new structures, the allocation did not include funding necessary to demolish the 5 previously used structures, therefore leaving them standing. Owned by the Illinois Department of Military Affairs, these buildings have sat empty for the last 5 years, have become dilapidated, structurally unsafe, home to rodents, and serves as a horribly derelict site near the entrance to our community and across from the state's newly constructed academy. We are asking the state of Illinois to honor its original scope of work in demolishing these 5 properties abandoned by the Illinois Department of Military Affairs and to appropriate no less than $2.5 million to go towards the completion of the full scope of project. Again, I want to thank you, Representative Marron. Also, we appreciate you being here, Senator Faraci. And we thank you for introducing a bill that not only helps the state complete a decade-old promise, but return a safe environment to what is now a dilapidated area of our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. And I am very honored to have with us this morning somebody that I am very ready to work with and somebody who represents all of my district, my senator, Senator Paul Faraci.
Well, I want to thank Tim Dudley from Vermillion Advantage. Thank you for coming. President John Brown from Savoy. Thank you. And of course, Scott Eisenhower, Rantoul Village Administrator. Appreciate it. And of course, Representative Marron for allowing me to join you today. It means a great deal to me. So these projects will help Champaign and Vermillion counties continue on the path of becoming strong economic hubs. Champaign County is one of the only Illinois counties growing in population. So we hope that with these important infrastructure investments, Savoy, Danville, and Rantoul will see population growth and, because of it, economic development. I'm committed to working with all of our stakeholders and my colleagues in the Senate to ensure these projects are funded and budgeted. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Faraci. Thank you all for coming and listening to us talk about these vital infrastructure projects for the 104th District. The governor has made infrastructure one of his priorities, so I wanted to take the time to highlight these big and important projects that we seek funding for here in downstate Illinois. I would like to push for passage of these appropriations bills or to have these projects included in the state budget. And I would want to reiterate to the governor the importance of these projects and would like to invite him to the 104th District to view the projects firsthand. We wanted to extend an invitation to him to tour Lincoln's Challenge Academy, especially in light of its 30th anniversary, to see the great work that they've done there for at-risk youth all over the state. And so we would like to extend that invitation as well as an invitation to view the project site in the village of Savoy, as well as where the city of Danville would like to expand. And so just want to throw that out there to the governor. Please come down and see how important these projects are to our district, to downstate, and let us, I guess, sell you on the need for them. So hopefully the governor, I know he's got a very busy schedule, but hopefully he'll find the time to come visit us.
Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel. And while you're at it, please leave us a comment. Thank you for watching.